Hello and welcome back to the weekly roundup, the show where I run through this weekend's games and give you my take and opinions on them. Remember, don't take anything I say too seriously because I'm joking. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe, and let's get straight on with the video. This game week really was one for the underdogs with many extremely surprising results. But one commonality that seemingly never changes is Manchester United's dependency on penalties. The Manchester side really are the penalty kings, becoming the first team in footballing history to receive a penalty after the full-time whistle was blown. With Ed Woodward spending all his money paying off the referees, it really is no surprise that Manchester United can't afford to fork over the extra few million for Jadon Sancho. Neal Maupay had a weekend to forget after it was him who gave away the last-second penalty. He started off the afternoon with a perfectly executed Panenka and followed it up with a crybaby celebration directed down the camera lane. Fast forward an hour and it was real tears streaming down his face, with a look that resembled mine when I heard that Keeping Up with the Kardashians was no longer airing. Leandro Trossard hit the bar more times than an alcoholic going through a breakup as Manchester United were once again dominated. In the end, the game culminated in a 3-2 victory for the Red Devils as they finally got their Premier League season kick-started. Liverpool's performance against Arsenal was as flawless as Channing Tatum, as they secured their position as this year's favourites to win the Premier League. With no team looking solid enough to challenge Liverpool, and the Reds showing us that not even a global pandemic threatening life on Earth would stop their title charge, I'd say that this year's Premier League is all but over. Andrew Robertson continued his assisting spree from last season and has gotten so good that he started assisting goals for both teams. The Scot did make up for his earlier mistake by scoring Liverpool's second goal, and that second goal was needed because with Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah caught up in battle for this year's Golden Boot, it doesn't look like either of them are going to pass to each other anytime soon. Salah stealing the ball from Jota at the end of the game reminded me of a fat kid running to get the last slice of pizza. In all honesty, Salah really should be quite embarrassed by this. As it turns out, the biggest test of the evening for Jurgen Klopp didn't come in the form of the Gunners, but a grumpy Irishman up in the Sky Sports studio. Roy Keane and Jurgen Klopp got into a heated debate after the full-time whistle, with Keane putting up more of a fight than Arsenal did in the entire game. West Bromwich raced to a 3-goal lead against Chelsea, but couldn't hold on as the Blues made an impressive comeback. Frank Lampard looked lost and out of ideas on the sideline, quite similar to how I looked the first time I sat my A-level physics exam. But never fear, in came the British boys to save the day. Tim Tam Abraham, or Kevin, which is his actual first name, just thought you should know that, and Big Mason Mount scoring decisive goals to complete the comeback. The Chelsea defence was opened up more times than a fridge in a fat family's home, with big name signing Thiago Silva being at the centre of the mistakes. The Brazilian miscontrolled a pass which allowed Callum Robinson to break free and finish calmly, a sight that Liverpool fans are all too familiar with. Lampard finally replaced Kepa between the sticks, and it turns out that Caballero is somehow even more useless than the Spaniard. And with new signing Edouard Mendy diving the wrong way for every penalty in the Carabao shootout against Tottenham, Chelsea will really be praying that third time is the charm. This match will act as a really harsh reminder for Lampard that he spent all the money on the wrong half of the pitch. A couple of days after United's game with Brighton, Leicester ousted the Red Devils from the throne and were crowned the new penalty kings as they were awarded 3 penalties at the Etihad. City's defenders were tackling as if they were simultaneously blind, drunk and high, and looked more out of place on a football pitch than Kevin Hart does on a roller coaster. That's a height joke, because Kevin Hart isn't tall enough to get on. Cool. Unlike United, City actually try and solve their defensive problems, and did so in the only way they know how, by spending £65 million on a centre-back in the shape of Ruben Dias. Now, I don't know much about him, but he only had an 80 rated card on FIFA last year, so he can't be that good. After scoring a hat-trick in the game, Jamie Vardy now leads the Golden Boot race with 5 goals, 4 of which have been penalties. Now those are numbers that even Ronaldo would be jealous of. And James Maddison topped off this excellent Leicester City display by scoring goals so beautiful that for the first time ever, Manchester United fans were more angry after a game that Manchester City had lost than they were before kickoff. The match between Newcastle and Tottenham ended in a 1-1 draw after once again a late penalty was awarded for handball. Eric Dyer was penalised with what might have been the worst decision ever made since that guy in China ate a bat, causing a virus to spread rapidly around the world, forcing us all to stay inside doing absolutely nothing, forgetting all social skills and how to interact with other humans, and causing increasing suicide, poverty and unemployment rates. Yes, that's how bad the decision was. After this week's set of games, the question arises whether players are genuinely expected to defend like this from now on. My neighbours probably think I'm crazy, which is pretty accurate, so we'll let them off. And finally, West Ham shocked Wolves with a 3-goal victory at the Olympic Stadium. West Ham manager David Moyes tested positive for the Rona and was forced to stay at home this week, showing once and for all that having no manager at all is still better than having David Moyes in charge. And the victory for West Ham could have been even more comprehensive had they not missed more chances than Donald Trump has missed tax deadlines. But with Brandon Bowen taking a big step up with a strong 2-goal performance, the Hammers have really been given a glimmer of hope in their pursuit for Premier League survival. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And I'll catch you all next time for another weekly roundup.